This is Things You Might Have Heard. I'm Jake Payne. I'm here with you, for you, live bright and early, 5:30 a.m. Central Time, here with you to give you 8 stories that you can this conversation from yesterday to wrap up the week of this information that we give you here for the Conversation Project. On this Friday edition, of course, it's going to be the 21st of February. I'll tell you that in a second. I'll say it again in a second. I didn't say it. But we cover news that you cover for us. You give us the green light to pick it. We pick the ones hopefully the best. We cover information, politics, events, and pop culture news. We're talking Team Canada today, more Trudeau than Trump, if you will, but plenty of Trump is in the mix. Also, some hot knives from McConnell's and Meghan Markle, who you people really don't like very much. But we have 8 little stories here for you in the queue today. I want to remind you that our website home is this. It's a conversationproject.com where you can see more about what we do, how we do it, and the why we do it. Well, and you can email us and chit chat with us all day long at conversationbox@gmail.com. Real quick, because we'll do this thing quickly because we have lots of things to test and play with. Friday, February 21st, 2025, we are a month into the Trump presidency and 2 months almost done with the year. It is blazing fast. So we'll see what happens as things progress. See what happened yesterday, the progression we had with those things right there. Now, let's start off with the first story, which is the story that matters. Now, Donald Trump did give a great prep talk to the Team USA before they actually went on to ice in Boston last night. A great cheering from the crowd, singing the national anthem in unison, but it was all Canada all night. And Trudeau got the last laugh, getting a joke about Trump after the defeat of the U.S. by Canada in the Four Nations final, overtime, if you will. So the jokes came fast and furious after the win, but during the game, quite a matchup, actually. A great game by all, which was supposed to be just a basic news spin on a tournament style thing for all stars to make it something all star game, a four nations tournament with many players, because many players congregate from various nations. Canada and the United States being the most of them, along with the other two nations as well that played in the tournament. But they were the afterthought as the political beef and the economic beef between Canada and the States has ratcheted up in the last month, literally in the last month. But the overtime goal that won the game, Connor McDavid, who of course everyone said is the greatest player in the continent right now, brings the title for the first championship for this matchup. Now, after the game, there were some tweets or posts or whatever the hell Justin Trudeau is using, basically coming out on social media saying, you can't take our country, you can't take our game. This, of course, in response to Canada being referenced as the first state by many people, especially around this game where they were saying the state would lose to Team USA and basically be the start to that takeover. It was a lot to deal with going on. It turned way too political than it should be, as I said, a simple new style of exhibition. The NBA tried something similar for its NBA All Star. Tried to do it all in one night. It was a bit of it's a bit of a thing. It happened. It existed, and we, that the people who do sports celebrate it because they're supposed to have faith. However, it didn't play off as well as this did because people had actual blood in the game, playing for team pride, playing for nation pride, and for the finals with USA versus Canada, I guess world domination. Who gets to be whose hat? I guess we'd be Canada's pants for a while, I guess. We'll see. But the final score, 3-2 in overtime, Team Canada over Team USA, and Justin Trudeau gets a chance to do a little trash talking towards Donald Trump, at least today. More actual Trump-related things. Now, if you're watching the video, you see the picture that of Kathy Hochul holding a picture that was put on the White House social media of Trump as the King of New York. And Kathy Hochul reminded folks that we haven't lived under kings in almost 250 years. The Trump administration actually moved to block New York City's congestion pricing plan because it must have federal approval, and it was revoked. The Trump administration pulled that approval for the pricing plan, which works to reduce Manhattan's traffic and fund mass transit improvements. It's the second part that apparently was the issue. Transportation Secretary John Duffy communicated a decision to approval, stating that the program was not authorized by law and emphasizing it as a financial burden on working class Americans or small businesses. In the response to their action, the Metropolitan Transport Authority, MTA, that's who runs the buses and trains in New York City, filed filed a lawsuit to maintain the toll system that it was using. Officials say that the program previously received necessary approvals before anything happened, and it was effective in traffic as it was working. Governor Hochul emphasized the state's commitment to upholding the program, highlighting the importance of environmental infrastructure benefits. What it actually does is that the tolls for people going to Manhattan in the middle of the day go up to 27. So if you're just a regular person driving to Manhattan, you'll take another route or you just go. If you're a business, a small business owner, you'll pay the price because it's a part of your business. Back. If you're a tourist, hey, you're touristing. It's all that work. But regular people won't just wander through Manhattan driving around congesting things up because they can. They'll find other ways around that will help with congestion in the ways. And of course, they could just not go in. They don't need to. It works like that. And it was part of a broader plan to basically help fund for the trains to go forward for its funding in mass transit. People taking buses don't get a big toll. People taking trains don't get a big toll. And the critics of the Trump administration basically say it's an overreach into municipal government, basically trying to be Trump and picture has king of something. When you can be kings. We'll see how this thing plays out because now that it's in court, Hochul wants it back, and the city wants it back. I'm not sure Eric Adams wants it back. We'll see how he plays into this one as well because he's playing ball with Trump already. Why not play ball with him as well? Let's go on to not Trump, but RFK Jr., which is technically Trump. RFK Jr. and his new HHS has issued guidance recognizing only males and female sexes. The Department of the Health and Human Services, Undersecretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has set an immutable biological heuristic, recognizing that only males and female sexes exist. This action aligns with President Trump's executive order aimed at eliminating the promotion of gender ideology within federal agencies. Guidance specifies that female refers to individuals with reproductive systems producing eggs, while male pertains to those producing sperm. It asserts that sex cannot be altered by medical surgical means. So this basically, as it says, is a binary definition of sex. And it's based on what you were assigned at birth. That language is also controversial, but it is what it is. However you were born, whatever plumbing you had when you were born is what you classify as male, female, man or woman. And beyond the way of having sex change operations or calling yourself non-binary or just stating I'm a nothing doesn't work. You have to pick a side. You have to choose something for your driver's license. You have to choose something when you go to the bathroom. It's male, female. It is what it is. The directive instructs federal agencies to revise policies and programs to reflect the binary definition of sex. Consequently, materials promoting concepts beyond this binary understanding are removed for official communication. Basically, all the websites have been scrubbed to this anyway, but anything else out there must be pulled right now, acknowledging that there are only two sexes, external to where it is, and essential to optimal health outcomes. There will be complaints, there will be criticisms, there will be plenty of protests from the LGBTQ plus community and other intersex groups who are condemning the guidance, arguing that it disregards the existence of the rights of transgender and intersex individuals. This thing's not going away. We will deal with this in many ways. And this is an issue that mostly because, as far as I can tell, what's in your pants, what's in your shirt, it's not my business. It's all our business. And so we'll be talking about this. It's in the broader. We won't have Mitch McConnell to kick around much longer because he's not running for reelection. He's been in Congress for 6 terms. So that's a mighty long time. And so he says this last days out here is done. He is riding out in the sunset, not going for a second term. Very long, very storied, very some say controversial, some say historic, some say really, really long career. 'Cause that's what it is. Now he gave the speech after they did the vote for getting his nomination for FBI director, which was passed, by the way. It was McConnell's 83rd birthday, so why not go out with a bang, get a speech for the people, and basically say, "You over this stuff. I'm done with this. Another 6 years. is probably pushing it. Um, Part of the speech, talked about, representing the Commonwealth has been an honor a lifetime. I will not seek the honor the 8th time. I guess I was off. He was in 7 times, but this will be the 8th term. He began in 1985, a long, long time ago, known for his strategic law legislative measures and significant influence in the Republican Party. Recent years facing health challenges, including appearing to freeze during public events, essentially just the software rebooting itself in the middle of a program. With that, he basically decided it was time to go. Also, a couple of falls as well, things like that. So it's what's happening. He's going to be succeeded by Senator um, Thune of South Carolina, being asked leader of Republicans in the Senate and leader of the House, leader of the leader of the Senate Republican and leader of the Senate based off the votes, like and things right there. He has leadership leadership already, but he's basically still active and still being a part of the show. It's much like Nancy Pelosi, who's no longer at the party, who's now Hakeem Jeffries, and Hakeem Jeffries is running the show. Nancy is back there, kind of looking back, calling some shots, asking some questions, and of course, she was part of the cabal that Biden. It's just what it is. So Kentucky is going to Kentucky is going to have to get a new senator. Looks like former Attorney General Daniel Cameron is going to run for the spot. For, on side. Going to see what happens to take over. Will this be a shot for Kentucky to make go blue for a little bit? We shall see. Will it be a shot for Kentucky to do more, lose some stature? Probably for a while. Will Mitch McConnell ride off to the sunset? Probably not, but he is leaving Congress. That is definitely what was said yesterday. What's going on? Godspeed to you. Good luck to you. We may not always agree with you, Mr. McConnell, but we are proud of you as a person, proud of you as a Kentuckian. Even for team content, specifically, not even for specifically for team content, you've definitely been a boon to us. You out there, great viewer and listener, I guess listener because a viewer would not hear my voice, watcher, I can also be a boon to the Conversation Project by helping us grow the project. Like, share, and subscribe to the works we do. This work here, this live thing here, live as we produce it, currently 5:45 in the morning here Central Time, or maybe you're watching the replay somewhere down the line. We need you to help get more of your like brethren into this show, into this program here. You can do it a couple ways. Number one, if you like what you're seeing, the algorithm will serve it to more people, and they may watch it as well. It also tells me I'm picking the right stories, doing the right things, and not screwing up the technology so much, or at least fixing it fast enough that you're not running away from this. That's what the likes tell me. That's what the likes tell the algorithms. That's what the likes tell people who see all the likes and say, hey, let's check this guy out, see where it goes. Sharing it directly with people who you know will love this type of commentary and news is also awesome because they're more likely to actually listen to it, watch it, see what's going on, and keep checking it out if you tell them it's good. The recommendations by people are always awesome, and getting those extra vibes of hey, this healthy work is a great thing. So if you want to help out with that, do that as well. Now, if you subscribe to this function, if you're not already subscribed to it, so you don't get the notifications in your feed, someone shared it with you, or the likes made the algorithm show up one day, you saw the thumbnail, thought, hey, this is interesting. We're glad you did that. But if you think it's real interesting to keep us going for a while, hit subscribe, whatever form you want to. You can also go to our website, this is conversationproject.com, and see what other places we are besides this one here that's produced on YouTube and Facebook and X, and subscribe to wherever you want to. We are looking for more of you to gather with us. Our current number is getting very, very, very close to a topic. I'm going to go off screen and see where we are. We are at, I'm not on the page. Let's go back to it. We're at 1,800 viewers, 1,842 subscribers on YouTube, where you want to basically get a full thousand or maybe 1,500 in a year. I'd see double what we got, but we started about 1,500, 2,000 subscribers is what we're shooting for. We'd like more. We aim for something that's really, really kind of doable. Doubling it every year is a great thing to do, and we want that to happen. So like, share, and subscribe, so we have more subscribers wherever you are. And YouTube is our gauge. So right now, 1,800, trying to make it to within about a week or so. Let's see, doing that. Almost the end button there. That would have been pretty tragic. Let's go to back to the news stories. Yeah, 4 more stories to get to before we get into teasing what's going forward. Yesterday, Donald Trump held a Black History Month event, while many agencies across the government actually skipped the recognitions and called off them completely over anti-DEI orders. Donald Trump hosted the Black History Month event at the White House with folks like Alice Johnson and Tiger Woods, in fact, being there. The event occurred in the context of the executive order issued by him in January, which ended federal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. So the programs don't exist. This program, this celebration, because he did actually write a declaration for Black History Month, does exist. So this is just a show. The problem is, places like the Department of Defense has said not going to happen. No observances on campus, in the barracks, on base that were official observances. Do something at the Civic Center, do something at the base theater after hours. Don't put up flyers, don't have cake in the break room, don't do stuff like that. Many federal agencies did the same thing. Essentially said, no, we're not having these things because it promotes DEI. Now, to be fair, if you can, it wasn't so much to kill Black History Month, but to kill all the various other months going on that get in there, especially things like Pride Month. So, to get that, you got to kind of, throw out babies, bathwater, and maybe toys as well. It is what goes on. Now, this also caused a little bit of some weird controversy, going back and forth among Black Republicans, because why are we celebrating the history of Black people and telling Black people that they're DEI hires and can't get jobs? It's not good enough, especially when various members of the Republican Party, the people who are in charge, are literally saying we need white people in charge of things because they're qualified to run things. Those words coming out of people's mouths, I've heard them reported over and over again in videos because they got reported. It's a interesting take as a person who was, pegged as a Republican. I voted, Republican a lot, but more or less, I'm right of center, based more or less independent. It's something that's interesting to talk about. When I worked in um, right wing radio, on conservative radio, it was more of a more you can get that stuff. You've seen people right now as well who are using that to their advantage. People who are of color who are using that of color token to become greater in the world in conservative politics and GOP stuff. Candace Owens, Stacey Steele, people like that are two examples of people who are very talented, but also extremely, yeah, extremely, yeah. They basically are, are one of the biggest people about, we're not going to go into the plantation. We're not going to do that. Not do that today. But so I don't get too lost because I'm already throwing tangents. Black History Month was celebrated at the White House with Donald Trump hanging out with Tiger Woods, and it's not celebrated in other places that more commonly might see Black history to go forward. We'll talk more about Black history, Black education, and things like that in the coming days because we are only about 30 days into 1400, and so many things have happened. There's really too many things to cover going. Any comments? I know I rambled. I apologize for that. Any comments on thoughts on where we're going with this one? Please let me know. We'll probably redo this one in a more contained version so that the ramble is less and we get more direct comments and talk about what's happening. Let's move on. The story that needs to be very well addressed in this one because it does bring up questions. Now, Delta airline passengers from the plane that was over in Toronto have been offered $30,000 compensation. No questions asked, which is where the questions start to begin. In the wake of the recent incident, Delta Airlines has actively offered $30,000 to each passenger aboard Flight 4819. Gesture, of course, as it's described, has no strings attached, ensures the recipients retain the right to pursue, ensures and the recipients retain the right to pursue action if they choose. Total compensation will exceed $2.2 million to cover all 76 passengers and 4 crew members. So, what happened last week? Flight 4819, operated by Endeavor Air, crashed, landed, and into adverse weather conditions causing the aircraft to flip upside down upon skidding the runway. All 80 individuals in the plane survived. 21 were hospitalized with injuries ranging from minimal to critical. At least 2 people are still in the hospital with critical type of conditions. I believe it's a child. My notes don't have that here, but it's being investigated by both Canadian and American aviation officials because it began in the States and was arriving in Toronto in Canada. So both sides what happened on both sides of the border. Legal experts weighing in on the compensation offer, noting that such payments are often intended to address immediate needs and demonstrate will. Importantly, payment does not precede anything that's going to be done for legal action, which is the good news in this. Most times they're paying people off so they can shut them down. This time they're paying them off to just get some goodwill because planes falling from the sky is a bad thing to see, and saying if there's legal action going forward, we will take up that responsibility. That sounds great. If you've seen some of the pictures, heard some of the, descriptions, people hanging upside down like bats, falling from the sky into the ground, and to crawl out of the plane and, of course, into the cold, although the crew members were there waving people by, giving them a hand wave, probably no snacks going on to survive what's going on. I believe the plane is still on the ground, like, still in the area, and I know they have not tried to get any luggage, any, goods back to people, yet. I know that has happened, so we will see how that plays out going forward. But a good gesture, or is it a good gesture? Is this just fluff? Your thoughts on Princess? Of course, very much. I'm gonna admit to you on this one right here. I have yet to read what's about this story. I don't know what's going on. I have the edited version I skimmed through, but I just didn't read the story. I posted it on Facebook and X and on the, threads as well, because we do that as well, and you guys responded to it very well. Not as hot as the next story, so you're pretty upset with this guy here, but this person that was nowhere near my radar, how the conversation, project works. We'll explain more about that when we get to the teaser part, explain the full work of the feeds. But I put out an article. It seemed like, okay, we'll see what happens. And you guys engaged in it. So we're talking. Don't know what I'm talking about because I didn't know. There's been outrage over an Indian YouTuber sparking debates over social media regulation. So Indian YouTuber Ranveer Alabadia, known for his beer biceps channel, recently faced significant backlash following an alleged obscene remark made during an appearance on comedian Samhay Ran- Samhay Rana's YouTube show, India's Got Talent. The comment, deemed inappropriate by many viewers, led to widespread public condemnation and multiple police complaints. In response to the outcry, Alabadia issued a public apology, and Rana removed the contentious video from his content from his show, so you can see it. It escalated as the Supreme Court in India criticized Alabadia's conduct, describing his remarks as vulgar, while the court granted him protection from arrest and imposed restrictions on his content creation activities. This legal intervention asked that a broader debate on the regulation of digital content and the balance between free speech and censorship in India's evolving digital landscape. Veteran actor and comedian Javed Jaffari weighed in on the controversy, suggesting that the backlash against Alabada and Iran is more a result of political maneuvering than genuine shift in audience sensibilities. He emphasized that such incidents often reflect how politics can influence public perception and the arts. This controversy has raised concerns among digital creators about potential censorship and stricter content regulations. Proposed legislation could simply impact free speech, prompting discussions on the need to have clear guidelines that protect creative expression while addressing offensive content. This incident highlights the challenges content creators face in navigating media's complex moral climate. And this event is part of a larger discourse on social media regulations in India specifically, but maybe where you happen to be. If you're in the US, yes, we have a whole lot more protections than other places do, but places like India is growing the market for content. They are doing this real time without the protections of our constitution. The government there has efforts to control original content of digital time and include adversaries to OTT platforms and social media channels. Advisories, that's the word, urging them to adhere to content guidelines. These measures aim to balance free speech with the need to prevent the spread of harmful material. reflecting the ongoing struggle to define the boundaries of acceptable content in the digital age. Here in the States, pornography is legal beyond what guidelines. Beyond guidelines, you get issues, but you can have things that are, I mean, that's why we talk about Lily Phillips, Bonnie Blue all the time, because they do things that are, in some cases, abhorrent, extremely icky, but they're legal. And many other Western nations is like that. India, not quite the same. So, because of its cultural impact from the past, its growing culture here in the present, and where the politicians don't want to go in the future, this issue. This is a very broad issue. It's very typical, a very, very big issue to get into. As I said, nothing I'm familiar with because I'm not watching any talent on YouTube. But the actual ripple effects on a world scale and a local scale do apply. And finally, we post about Meghan Markle, you we post about Prince Harry, you kind of react because you want to see if Meghan Markle's involved. We post about the two, oh boy, do you react. You folks don't seem to like Meghan Markle. This is pretty much hate clicks, hate engagement, because you're always looking for a reason to kind of, I guess, side eye Meghan Markle. Here's another one that you guys gave as a leaps and bounds top rated story for the day yesterday. I mean, this is beyond Trump shutting down the cars in Manhattan. This is beyond HHS saying there's only two sexes. This is beyond giving the plane crash victims $30,000 to not go away. They can still come back and complain about other things. Meghan Markle is facing allegations of stealing a business name for her As Ever brand. The recent rebranding of the lifestyle channel, all their ventures, all their stuff as ever, has gained some more controversy. Allegations the name and the logo was appropriated from someplace else. Mayor of Porreas, a small town in Menorca, Spain, has expressed concerns that the logo closely resembles the town's historic coat of arms, which is a palm tree flanked by two birds. Mayor Zizka Mura noted that striking similarity urged Markle to consider altering the design, emphasizing the emblem's cultural significance to tourists. However, the town lacks the financial resources to pursue legal action, i.e., they can't sue. They can't do anything about it, so they just kind of say, you know, that Meghan Markle, that little thing or whatever, kind of looks like our thing. Can't really do much about it, but just throwing it out there, see what's going on. Simultaneously, Markle's an independent designer brand city has voiced objections to Markle's use of "as ever" as the name, which he has utilized for his vintage clothing brand since 2017. Kolsky, who was unaware of Markle's rebranding until it publicly was announced, is currently seeking legal action to protect his brand identity. He has the cash, he has the means, he is going to push this thing. He expresses concerns about potential consumer confusion due to the challenges small businesses have all the time when confronted by larger entities. Essentially, something with a global reach like a Meghan Markle can kind of wipe away his brand, even though it already existed because of the similar name. These are not isolated instances for Ms. Markle. She previously had the name American Riviera Orchard facing trademark issues, leading to branding. She also past allegations of idea replication, including similarities in her children's book, The Bench, and existing books, as well as concepts resembling those of other lifestyle brands. As I said, legal matters notwithstanding, you guys don't seem to like Meghan Markle, or you seem to look for Meghan Markle incidents to just sort of throw shade at, which I guess is fine because team content. We need the clicks, we need the eyeballs, we need what's going on. And for all the people who say, "Why are we talking about this chick again?" There are people who say, "Please, please, 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 keep on talking because I don't like her. I don't want a reason to feel better about myself or just not like her." I don't get it. I could care less. Team content always wins. You steam her conversational, we are chatting her. We are wrapping up the conversations part of the conversation. That is the newsy part, and going to the newsy part. The newsy part that is the news that's upcoming. Now, we're taking the hiatus for the weekend. No more things you might have heard until Monday morning. Because of that, our teaser story has to fight a whole big old fight, not just being one of the top stories for the day, but for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to basically get the eyeballs we're having. The top 30 stories of the weekend will look to be 10 stories are produced for the Monday show. There'll be over 90 stories produced a week. So top 30, get a look. Top 30, get a 1 in 3 chance of being pulled from that hat, I guess. Sorry about that. I'm still getting used to this button here and the pauses to help me get less of the weird noises coming out of my mouth, things, but still has lots of big long pauses. Like, where's it going? Audio folks. They- Now, we did not talk about the IRS's plan to lay off 6,700 workers in the teas from yesterday. We thought we were going to, but we didn't. There are other things that kind of made the narrative a little better, but we'll be talking more about that because we talked more about Doge things going on. However, a Doge thing, that's the Elon Musk private thing, story we're teasing from today. Elon Musk's private security detail has been deputized by the U.S. Marshal Services. It's like Matt Dillon going to call the posse to go chase down Jesse James. It's a little like that because Musk is a government employee and he has even more liability and more threats at him because of what he's doing for the government. The Marshal Services have deputized his private security. Now, granted, those guys are probably ex-military, ex-police officers, things like that, doing private security. So these guys are pretty heavily trained anyway. So it's not like they're just geeks off the street. But what they are now people who aren't technically government employees have the rights of Marshal Services to arrest people in the name of federal crimes. So if Elon Musk gets attacked, it's not just a personal person being attacked; it's a federal employee, a government person. Some people are scratching their heads on this. This was a very late decision; thing came out very late last night, so we didn't have to get into it, which is why we have a chance for you to get into it now. If you like this story, this is what you need to do. Follow us on our feeds on Facebook and X, facebook.com/This Conversation Project and x.com/th conversation, where you see this link in the feeds, the things we posted. You may have to go looking for it based on when you actually are watching this video. Like it, love it, hate it, share it, read it, comment. The more engagement you give to a link in Facebook and X, the better chance we have to talk about it. As I said, top 30 engaged stories for the weekend, get a shot at being on the show for Monday morning. If you think this is a bit odd or just curious about how it works out, read it and check it out and engage in it. And if enough people are really interested in it, that makes it conversational. That means we'll probably choose it as one for Monday. And if we don't, email me at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. Let me know what I'm doing wrong so that we can do better. We'll have more talk about the layoffs because we'll talk more layoffs over the weekend and some of the extracurricular things we have going on and how mostly how many people who laid off are being brought back because they realize they kind of need them. They may need some of these guys, IRS agents, as tax season is hitting us now. We'll see if Trump needs Marshall's protection from his personal protection, and if you think that's really shutting up as well. Let's go to our spotlight sponsor for the day, and that is Fundrise. Fundrise allows you to extend onto your extend into your extend onto your investments. Sorry, got lost in that one. So I originally got into Fundrise about 3 years ago when it opened up a real estate investments. I was really interested into getting into it. I bought a couple of things that were online during on Robinhood and some ETFs that dealt with investment type things that were houses and housing. But I really wanted to get directly into real estate. Fundrise allowed me to do that. Now they have since expanded to other traditional funds and to expand their properties, expand their worth. And they recently put out a email. They do these very frequent updates on what's going on to your fund, explaining how when I bought my Fundrise shares early on, and I'm still buying them now on a recurring basis. Um, they look good, then it went down, and now we're reaping the benefits. Essentially explaining the J curve in 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 real estate, where you buy something, put money into it to develop it, so it has to lose the value because you put the money into it. then you rent it out, then you sell it, and it makes more money. That's how it works out. Basically explained to me how, thank you for being a part of Fundrise, because now you're seeing how your money is actually growing from this time where it really dipped where it needed to be. Now, the big thing is I lost no money the first year in my investments. The second year essentially did that development stuff where it lost a chunk. I also started investing in some other funds, which actually had a bit more extra pep to it. Now I'm back in the black, and now I'm looking great and excited about Fundrise. It makes being an investment in real estate on their flagship fund no hassle. Residential commercial properties with diversification and steady income potential from there. It also has other traditional funds, the venture fund, futures fund that allow you to invest in other pots of things. These are not ETFs. These are not stocks. These are not any type of things like that. This is a private fund or private funds you can invest into, and they're managed by professionals. And like I said, they're very good at giving you updates on what's going on. They tell me what's being bought, what's being sold, what's being renovated. And right now, there's a reason why the change in the market will start to see more growth, see more additions, make some money, and how the next batch of work buying up more properties, putting more investors in, we'll see that J curve return and we'll lose a little bit going forward. Having someone explain your investments is awesome. Robinhood is awesome there. And if you use our link to Robinhood, you get extra shares, free shares for supporting us. We get a small commission. They thank you for supporting us, and they support us to support us. Go to our website, use our link for this. It's conversationproject.com/fundrise. It's conversationproject.com/fundrise, and check it out today. Get your first investment in. You can do it it doesn't take very much. And over time, because investment is once again, a marathon, a long-term game. You put in bits and bits, coins and coins, pennies and pennies, turn into dollars turn into larger things. And once things start rolling, your investments will rise. Now, not all investments will gain money. Some will actually lose in the long run, so be wary of that. This isn't a chance to win in the game of life by expanding your investments. It's not a lottery. It is not a casino. It's not gambling. It's an actual investment, which can grow, also can lose based off the market. Conversation News Online at this is conversationproject.com. We want to take a moment right now, first off, to remind you of the website we just did, our homes on Facebook and X, where you can engage in the art of engagement, and step a bit further and hype up our partners. We're glad these folks have been with us, and they've been with us for a while. We need more partners. So whatever it is that I can do to convince you to help us be a partner, let me know. Email me at conversationbox@gmail.com so we know how to get more partners and more people who are members on YouTube. They're essentially the same thing. Our partners are Harold Braxton, Kobe Green, and Eldon at the cup of coffee level. And Spirit Chains level is Joy Winters. These are people who have given to us financially over the last couple months, some of them for a few years now, to help us maintain the Conversation Project. They also give me updates on how they feel about things and insights on how things work or don't work. So they are the front line. They are the directors. You want to comment in, take all comments seriously. All wait, email us for those comments. But you want a little extra insight of what's going on and why we do things a little bit ahead of time. Become a partner. Go to our website, click on the partnership link, and consider being a partner. There's also one-time donation links there as well. Otherwise, consider going to the page and visiting more sponsors. Consider doing more in the way of emailing and being more versed in what's going on, how we're doing things. Be more vocal in what's going on. We cannot do the Conversation Project literally without you, because you help us pick the stories every day. The stories are more engaging. Help keep me sane, and help keep me in the knowledge of make me feel like I'm still doing real time news. I'm technically doing real time news. But you feel like I'm having impact journalistically. I get comments, and we've gone real long today. I don't know what it is, but we just 40 minutes a day, I guess. It's still snowpocalypse, so I'm not going to physically going to work. I'm just, flipping monitors and here. I guess that's what the deal is. I don't have to go rush off to get ready to go anyplace. So I guess we're chatting today. I want to give some thanks, especially anybody who stuck around for 40 minutes to watch this video, because there's been a lot going on in the world, and there's been a lot going on in my world. And those of you who've been through through, the start of this form of our newsletter of where we, understand how things have gone through. Those of you who have been through, some tragedies who have to, some scares, tornado, which was a long, sort of controversial issue. We talked about the tornado at this point. Tornado hit the house. We lost parts of the house away, which was a big issue in time to be with you. And just general life stuff. And now as we go into the Trump administration, Trump 47, while I take it partially with jokes, partially with seriousness, there are a lot of things going on in this world and a lot of people who need some outlet to understand how things work. And we want to provide that outlet. We want to give you as much pure news as possible, pure information, pure stuff that to get through on both the news aspects and just general content. That's what the More Better Media overall brand is about, giving you actual things that are kind of things you need to know, things to deal with. So we're doing that. So it takes help, takes support. We can find ways to make things work. I can put things here, there, whatever. This whole thing here, everything we do to upgrade the presentation is, it's cost. We got to be milled into things, personal and work and business things like that. But it's the cost that really comes from is making sure that everybody has a equal playing field to work from if they want it. People don't. So if you believe that what I'm doing is noble, it's good, it's interesting, it's giving you a great news, just let me know. You don't have to be a partner. You don't have to, pony up any money. Just make sure you're responding with how I am doing, not just you're an idiot because that's the internet. How I'm actually doing. Am I doing a great job? Am I doing a not great job? Am I informing you more or am I spotting out nonsense? Do you like the look, the sound, the feel, the graphics, things like that, or do they don't matter? They'll just, come on and do, commentary and yell and scream like other YouTubers, like, "You know what, that Meghan Markle, she is just a." There's commentary that is, disguised as news. There's news that is, disguised as commentary, and there's here, where it's collaboration. This is not a monologue. It's not me trying to find a trending topic to get all the eyeballs to. I am. This is me throwing out things, throwing spaghetti on the wall, seeing what sticks, letting you walk behind me and say, "Yeah, that did stick." Then picking those pieces and putting them out there for you. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna cut this up and use this as a, extra video to go forward, so to kinda explain things. It's a bit rambly, so I apologize for that. I'll do some intro going into it, but thank you guys. Thank you guys for allowing the internet, allowing people to do these things, some better than others, some worse than others, and some people who you don't know how the responses are getting, but they do. That's it. We're gonna wrap it up for now because we went way long on a Friday edition going forward. We'll be working on the weekly roundup where 10 to 12 stories, which I will pick specifically because I think they make the difference. Different stories you pick to put onto the conversation all week long and things you might have heard. I think the 60 people who are on your live, still on your live, probably 58 of them are bots, who are bringing up the numbers for this thing. Thank you so much for being with us, watching live or botting live. Well, showing us support, giving us some love, giving us more clicks and eyeballs going forward. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on tap for things you get done. Weekly roundup on the way, more videos for the weekend, more fun stuff I'll try to get in, and maybe some surprises. Love you. Let's get out.